Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the new deck builder, how it works, and some of the statistics represented so far. Please note that the game is still in development and everything you see is still subject to change. So Eugen recently released a video that went through their new deck builder. It looks extremely promising and I'll leave a link in the description for those who wish to have a look for themselves. I've taken a few screenshots from the video and I'll briefly cover what is said in the video and developer blog, but I also want to add my own comments on things I have spotted or have interest in. First of all, I wanted to look at the division as a whole. It appears that in this division there is 50 activation points. According to the development blog, there will be decks that will come with more or less, which is actually the same as it was in Steel Division Normandy 44. Your deck is determined by which parent division you choose, and you will have units related to that division to choose from. There will be 26 divisions on release, including those from the Back to War pack, which is an awful lot. These appear to be rated, with A being high tier and good for multiplayer, down through B to C, which they appear to recommend for single player content or creative individuals and more experienced players. The type of division does increase the number of slots available for the equivalent type of unit, but does not increase veterancy, since veterancy is now chosen by the player. Each slot can cost more based on the amount of each type of unit you bring, unlike in Steel Division, where all slots cost only one activation point. The example we are given is a tank corps, and it seems like we have some sort of hybrid Steel Division wargame deck system. Secondly, let's talk about deployment types. There are 4 different deployment types shown so far: Balanced, Juggernaut, Vanguard, and Maverick. Whether they change based on faction, division and so on is unknown, but I would speculate that it is either faction based or standard across both allies and Axis. Based on the numbers shown, I can imagine aggressive divisions still being stronger overall. I think that later game builds will still be viable though, just harder to master when it comes to creating a division that can utilise the abundance of points in Phase C. To put things into perspective, Maverick in a 40-minute game gets the lowest 4,400 requisition points over the course of the entire game, and Juggernaut gets 6,700. Dependent on how the new Conquest mode plays out, maybe it will be more balanced than I imagine. Moving on to selecting units now, it is demonstrated that units can have their deployment phase and experience selected manually by the player, instead of cards being pre-assigned both like they were in Steel Division Normandy 44. The number of units potentially available is very interesting. In this case, the recon unit availability goes up by 4 per card, from Phase A to C. It goes down based on the veterancy increase. Deck building in Steel Division 2 looks like it's going to be quite complex because of this, and this is both good and bad. Bad because skill level entry to multiplayer is going to be much higher than it was in Steel Division Normandy 44, which may put off players, even though I'm sure presets will be available, and I'll likely do my best to provide tutorials. On the good side though, personally, I can see myself messing around with this for ages, perfecting the number and veterancy of units versus potential income in each phase to create the perfect strategies and divisions. This is only made more complex though by the addition of being able to select which transports units arrive in or with. It seems as though a division is assigned a total number of each type of transport, and by selecting a unit to come with that transport, you remove the number from the availability of the pool. So for certain valuable transports, you will have to choose which infantry and so on you think will exploit those transports the most. You will also have to account for the increased or decreased cost dependent on the transport you choose. Now I do believe this will create a meta based on the preferable unit combinations like in Wargame, but not quite to the same extent. What I mean by that is cheap infantry purposefully being chosen to bring in the expensive transports and vice versa. In this screenshot and some others, I wanted to highlight some of the statistics. It seems that most tanks, including SPGs, are standardised in range at 2,000 meters, and other statistics are the balancing factors. Personally, I find it odd that a T-70 can fire 2,000 meters when compared with the T-34, but I can't say I know my ranges of tanks too well, and maybe you guys can clear that up for me in the comments. Something else to mention is that it seems optics statistics are remaining the same between infantry and vehicle recon, infantry getting exceptional and vehicles receiving very high. Next, I was looking at the AT options on infantry. I noticed that handheld grenades no longer match small arms in range and can be thrown 60 meters. However, the M1 bazooka and Panzerschreck now match range at 250 meters, a much more significant increase than in Steel Division Normandy 44, but that's just something to consider. Machine guns have certainly had a boost to range, sporting 1,000 meters, and now belong in the support tab, which is interesting. This is compared to the 750 meter range of light machine guns, which standard infantry squads have. Accentuating the disparity in infantry mechanics I think is important for a game that I believe will be dominated by armour due to current unit costs. For example, infantry in a 50 cal half-track currently costs the same as a T-34 in this example. The difference in AA range is shown to be between 1,500 meters and 2,000 meters based on the units we were shown. Things like Flak 88s I reckon will have a longer range, but whether this varies dependent on air or ground targets remains to be seen. I hope it does, because seeing a 37mm AA fire the same max distance as a T-34-85 might be a bit strange, and will make microing things like return fire really important. The biggest range I saw in the video was the ISU-152, with a penetration of 165mm with AP shells and a range of 4,400 meters. Imagine seeing that fire halfway across the map to kill a Panzer IV. Either way, the Katyusha was shown to have 4,200 meter range and the 82mm mortar 3,000 meter range, a significant increase from Steel Division Normandy 44. Counter battery is going to be more important than ever, since in general, artillery will be way more safe. Finally, when looking at statistics, I noticed the planes are very expensive when compared to the tanks. This makes me think that unit prices will be balanced based on division, with units that don't fit the type of division potentially costing more as to keep things thematic and balanced. Something that was briefly mentioned but not entirely covered was commander units. Not to be confused with leader units, which increase veterancy of nearby units. In the video, it was mentioned commander units increase combat effectiveness of units, and only one can be bought in each phase. How this works will likely be revealed in a future development blog. However, I speculate that they would have to increase damage, range, or other specific statistics in order to differentiate themselves from leaders. This is because veterancy already affects rate of fire, accuracy and suppression, as well as other statistics in some cases, unless this is completely changed in Steel Division 2. In the deck building video, it does actually show us the defences at the bottom. What it looks like is you will have to add them to every division, and then divisions can be used in both game modes rather than having different divisions for each. I kind of like that change if it's the case. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'm really excited about the new deck builder, and I think it looks awesome. Please remember that the video showing off the deck creation is in the description if you want to check it out, as well as a developer diary that goes with it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you would like to see more Steel Division 2 content in the future, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.